Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of issue 13 of us building the Enterprise D. So, in the last video we had a look at stages 47 and 48. We grafted a couple more parts to the saucer section as well as some work on our warp nacelle, which I have right here. We're going to finish off with this issue by doing stages 49 and 50. I've read ahead, there's not really too much to do here, just putting the panels together as well as fitting more stuff into the nacelle. We won't be grafting these parts onto the panel, most likely in issue 14, which I'm expecting in the middle of December. Or at least at the start of it. I'm not 100% sure. I think they release, send these out every 3 weeks or so. But yeah, let's get on with it, shall we? Let's make a start. So let's get ourselves to stage 49 and we'll have a look at what we're going to do. So, for stage 49, this short stage of the assembly readies another deck panel for fitting and balances out the reflectors in your warp nacelle build. So we're going to do another one of these, put it in the nacelle, as well as another panel. So I've already, because this is quite a short section, going to be a shortish video, I've not really opened these up already. So while I'm doing that, I'll do the customary. How's everyone doing? How are we today? I was a bit annoyed this week. I'm sure anyone watching can already guess why, given when this video goes out. And what is happening right now in the States. We are currently into Season 4 of Discovery. But with about 2 days to go for the end date, Netflix and Paramount have announced, more Paramount I guess, announced that all of Star Trek will be gone from Netflix in the UK and other parts of the world in favour of the Paramount Plus system, or service, that launches next year. So what that means is that if you like Star Trek and you're like me in the UK or one of these affected countries, you won't get a chance to watch it on these streaming services anymore. If you want to know what's happening in Discovery, well, that's tough, isn't it? You're out of luck until they decide to launch it next year. Now, in the UK, it is launching next year. Don't know the exact date, but if you're a Sky Q customer, which I am not, because I can't afford that, you get Paramount Plus included in your service. I think it's if you're Sky Q or if you've got the cinema package, you will get Paramount Plus included, so that's good. And yeah, I think it's going to be probably about £10 a month or something, the usual price for these streaming services. But it was definitely frustrating. I felt really bad for the cast of Discovery because they've been hyping Season 4 up as having this worldwide release, and they've been talking to like UK fans. Last week we were talking about Destination Star Trek. And they were there, and they were like, yeah, we can't wait for Season 4, and they were excited to see everyone's responses, and, you know, kind of the wind must have been taken out of their sails, and they must have been taken aback a bit, and I guess, unfortunately, in these cases, you get some nasty people out there who direct the blame and their anger at the wrong people, and I don't go into my work too much, but I work in the games industry, and I've fortunately never experienced it myself. I've been quite lucky. But I've seen people who have experienced the brunt of people's anger, the misplaced brunt, and there's no other, I understand you're annoyed and angry, and I'm annoyed and angry too about it. I'm calmer about it now, but you never, ever, 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 and this is me being super serious now, never send abuse to people. It's not on. It's not the done thing. It's not right. My reach on here is not big enough for this message to really matter, I guess. I kind of wish it was, because I would, if I had that platform, like, thousands of subs, people watching it, I would love to get that message out there that you never, under any circumstances, send abuse to people. I don't I have opinions on certain people. Oh God, I have opinions on them, but I would never want to send abuse their way. And I just don't think it's right. You know, there are ways and means to deal with stuff. Especially when it comes to something quite insignificant in the grand scheme of things as a TV show. So yeah, just me being very serious at the start of this video. Let's get into something a bit lighter. I've fit the nacelle bit already. There we go, that's lighter. So that nacelle just sits in there, and I find this a bit awkward at times, because it's like, it's meant to just fit nice and snugly in there. Although it does say if these things move about a bit, don't worry about it. But yeah, that was this week. A bit of disappointment about Discovery not airing in the UK, because I was very excited for it. But it is what it is. I don't know who is to blame. Business people, as always. You know, isn't that always the case? And I understand as well, working in the games industry like I do, sometimes you have to keep things quiet, and you can't always get the information out there as you'd like to, but I do feel it's a bit of a disservice to fans. So anyway, we've got that in there now. It's not fitting as snug as the other one is. We'll have to have a look at that, I guess. But yeah, it's as best it can for now. So we'll set that back over to one side for the moment. And the next step is to do another panel. So we've got our back there, well, our front of it, our back, our LED, and our windows. So let's make a start. So aside from that little burst of negativity there, I've had a pretty good week. I went to go see Marillion at the start of the week, and they were fantastic. Really, really good live show. It was interesting because their first two shows of this tour, they didn't have their normal lighting director. So the lighting was a bit scaled back, and I was at one of the shows where the lighting was scaled back. And it was kind of cool to see it stripped back, because it was you, the band, and the music, rather than any other distractions. I kind of liked it. But they put on an amazing live show, and I would 100% recommend going to go see them or getting into them. They've got a new album out in March of next year called An Hour Before It's Dark, so check that out if you can. They're a very, very good band. They've evolved a lot since, like, just over time. They're one of them bands that always evolves. They're one of those bands that are also, much like Genesis and the other band, like Dream Theater, they're always under some scrutiny from areas of the fan base, because their biggest moment with Marillion came with their previous lead singer, and he did leave back in the 80s, and then they got a new one, and some people can't accept that, you know, as it is. It's the same with, like I said, with Genesis and Dream Theater with their drummer. But yeah, definitely, if you've never given them a listen, do so. I would heartily recommend probably the Afraid of Sunlight album. For, I would say, the more modern stuff. It was released in 1994. Very distant thing for modern. Their latest albums, like Fear, which is actually an acronym with a word in that I don't say in my videos. But yeah, very, very good. Very good live show. Aside from that, I've been playing Riders Republic on the PlayStation. My friend got it as well, and we've been sort of grouping up and messing about on that. Brilliant. I really enjoying that. Bit frustrating at times. We've been doing the mass races where you've got like 64 people in one race, and it's a little bit silly at times, because you have, you're all bumping into one another, and you're trying to get to the front of the race, and one mistake can seriously drag you behind. But I think as long as you go into it knowing that it's going to be a bit silly, then you won't be as frustrated by it. So there we go. We've got all the clear windows in now, and now it's time to do the next bit. So yeah, let's actually talk about this model for a little bit. And anyone else, how's your progress going so far? You're all still, anyone watching this still going with it? Anyone waiting on any particular issues? I've had a look at like how many panels we've got left for the top half of the saucer, and I think we are about 4 panels away from having the top half done. At least completing a good loop and maybe being able to put the bridge on. So I don't want to preempt it because I've done that a few times, but I think the next issue we get, we might actually complete the top half of the saucer. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I keep on taking the top what I've got so far and lighting it up because it just looks so good. I just keep looking at it whenever I come in the front room. I keep it sort of safely in the other half of the room when I'm not working on it, because this is the desk that I work at too. And it just, I just keep looking at it. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. That this is how it looks so far. Really, really came together. Two, 3, 4. It's funny, I know this is something that I've mentioned a few times, but it is, I do find it funny, just sort of the speed at which I get through creating some of these panels now, based on where I was when I first started. It's just kind of like, now I pick up the window and I've got the set of tweezers to pop them in there, and it's all a nice smooth process. It's not always smooth, but it's definitely better than when I first started and I was trying to pop all of these in without the set of tweezers and just use my fingers. And a lot of this kind of stuff, this advice came from people commenting on these videos, which is incredible. So we are about to attach the panel itself. So we only need these, we only need 2 screws. So got it there. You might notice, I'm going to let you in on a little secret of what I'm doing here. You might notice me gesturing a little bit more at the camera and pointing things up at the camera a bit more. Now, this is maybe a little bit for your benefit as well. I think sometimes I forget to show things off a bit more directly in these videos, but what I'm going to do is when I'm done with this episode, I'm going to create one of them YouTube shorts. It was off the back of a friend recommending I try it. Just because I'm just keen to try new things to get people to watch the videos, I guess. Oh. Ah. Okay, we're down. There's the screws. So I'm just gonna pop that one in. But yeah, a friend of mine recommended, because I said on social media, I said, oh, you know, what do people kind of recommend to get more like people viewing videos and stuff? Is there any way to kind of improve it? Because I'm looking like to see if I can get more of a reach out there. No, because why not? Why not see what you can do? And the guy recommended, he runs SunnyCon, which is a convention that me and my partner go to, and we'll be at next year. And he just said, why don't you try the YouTube Shorts and see, you know, because they do that for SunnyCon, and it's kind of works like, I'm going to give it a go. So what we're going to do now is we have our completed panel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug that in. We don't normally test them on this, which, to be fair, we really should. But what we're going to do, we're going to do that. Then we're going to, hopefully you can see that split up. See it on the side. And there we go. So that, my friends, is stage 49. So I'll see you again in just a second after this lovely fade out for stage 50. Here we are, we're going to do stage 50 now. So what we got for stage 50? Another short stage in which a deck panel is assembled and the final warp engine field grill reflector is added to your port side warp nacelle. So this is just another two-pager, a two-page Jones, which we're going to start calling it now. And I bet if I ever say that again in the future, I will probably forget what I've said here. If I was popular enough, I could get that catch on. Let's open up this bag, shall we? So again, LED for the deck panel. We're going to do escape pods. We've got the windows, more lovely screws, and then we've got the deck panels themselves. I'm not having a good time getting these out of the bag. Sometimes this plastic opens super quickly, sometimes it doesn't. It's very binary. Okay, so here we go. So what we're going to do, I mean, that kind of looks like, yeah. So the first step, step A, is actually to take the warp engine field grill re-reflector and place it inside the smaller one, and that's already been done for us. So that was short and sweet, wasn't it? Let's get our, so that's the part, already done, wonderful. And then what we want to do, scoosh that down. And then that wants to just, oh shit. Oh no, that didn't come out, that just, thought I'd broken it there for a second, but I hadn't. So let's there we go. That should slide in there now. Yeah, there we go. So it doesn't, it's not completely solidly in, but there you go, you can see that there. So it's not completely solid, but the bulb's in, the, what is it called? The field grill reflector is in there, and that's that bit done. So, next surge, we've got our front, we got the back, and then we're going to put all of this together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what I'm expecting is we're building like these panels here right now, and then I'm expecting in the next issue there'll probably be 2 more panels to build, and then fit all of them together, plug them into the PCB, and then we'll see like a whole sort of row of things lighting up at once. So we want 1, 2, and 3 for the clear ones. There we go, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and 4. We'll pop that in. Quite excited. I'm recording this on Saturday, and I'm out down to my parents this weekend, driving down to stay over for the evening. But I'm seeing a friend tomorrow, and my aim is to pick up some paint for my Warhammer models. I've built those little Chaos Space Marines that I mentioned. There was only 5 in the box. I must have built the other 5, like 8 years ago, or whenever I got them. So, but it's fine. I only really wanted these to practice on, because I wanted to see if I could enjoy the painting again. So having even 5 what I didn't have previously, and just having to buy the paint and the paintbrushes, that's a bit of a win in my view. So we're going to want 3 screws here. Oh, they ping out everywhere. 1, 2, and 3. I'm sure I got... Oh no, there it is. It's just falling down there. So what we're doing, we are putting on... Is there only the 1 bulb here? Yes, there is. And it's the yellow and white one. Let's just get that in place then, shall we? Like that. And then we can start screwing this down. So we'll screw it down, we'll test it. Oh, interesting, that is not wanting. There we go. There we go, I was just a little bit awkward with the plastic. Okay, so that's another one done. So we'll add that. And we do that. So what, we'll turn off the flash for that. So we've got that there. So let's test both these lights again, and I'll show you what we've done in the wrap up. So in this one, we did that panel, and we did that panel. We also did that, and fit another one of them reflectors on that end. And let's test both of these lights again. So we'll start with this one. So it goes into this slot. We've got our battery box. And there you can see that a little bit more. That's it. And then the final one. So this one here. Exactly the same place. There you have it. So those two are ready to go onto our saucer. So, with all of that said and done, 2 pretty shortish stages today. Thank you all very much for taking the time to watch this. Please leave your likes, your comments, all that good stuff. Check me out on social media. And I shall see you again when issue 14 arrives. Goodbye.